in sub-article 2, which I've just said, Honorable Speaker. And I think for purpose of understanding, there are airlines which are registered in South Africa, or Kenya, but they may not be designated as Kenya Airline. But so long as they are registered in those countries, the permission, so that the Honorable Speaker, there is what you call a clear or a level playground, so that it doesn't mean that it is only Kenya Airways, because then what happens with others that have been registered in this country? And that is why that Article 3, Honorable Speaker, is trying to address that. And 4, nothing in sub-Article 2 shall confer on a designated airline of contracting party the right of taking on board in the territory of the other contracting party passengers, baggage, cargo, and mail carried for remuneration or hire destined for another point in the territory of the other contracting party. That is, Honorable Speaker, the gist of that agreement between ourselves or our country and South Africa. Honorable Speaker, it might look repetitive, but of course among other articles, Honorable Speaker, which are then, if you go through it, they are more or less administrative, but the gist of the matter that the House is being asked is what I've just read, Honorable Speaker, in Article 2. Honorable Speaker, for purpose of record also, because I'm dealing with 2 agreements, allow me then, Honorable Speaker, to also quickly take the House through the request between ourselves and the Republic of Botswana, Honorable Speaker. And the gist of that, Honorable Speaker, again, is found in Article 2 of the agreement between our country and South Africa. And for purpose of record, Honorable Speaker, and to be very clear, this is what the agreement between ourselves and Botswana is asking the House to do. What is it, Honorable Speaker? Article 2, grant of rights. That's the subtitle. Paragraph 1, Honorable Speaker. Each contracting party shall grant to the other contracting party the rights provided for in this agreement to enable its designated airlines to establish and operate international air services on the routes specified in the annexes, Honorable Speaker, in this agreement. 2, subject to the provision of this agreement, the designated airlines of each contracting party shall have the rights, A, to fly across the territory of the other contracting party without landing, B, to make stops in that territory for non-traffic purposes, and C, to land in the territory of the other contracting party for the purposes of taking on board and discharging traffic in passengers, package, cargo, and mail while operating on the agreed services. Paragraph 3 of that Article 2, Honorable Speaker, continues to say, and very fundamental, that the designated airlines may exercise unrestricted fifth freedom traffic rights, Honorable Speaker, at intra-Africa points in accordance with the Yamoussoukro Declaration, Honorable Speaker. Paragraph 4, the airlines of each contracting party, other than those designated in terms of Article 3, shall also have the rights provided for in paragraph A and B, which I've just read above, Honorable Speaker. And paragraph 5 states nothing in sub-article 2 shall confer on a designated airlines of contracting party the rights of taking on board in the territory of other contracting party passengers, baggage, cargo, and mail carried for remuneration of hire and destined to another point in the territory of the other contracting party. Honorable Speaker, those are the gist of the 2 agreements. Apart from other articles, Honorable Speaker, which are also which are attached in this report, and as I said, it is making it more clearer and more administrative. But the gist of, Honorable Speaker, are those agreements that they're asking us to allow them to come to our country. Honorable Speaker, and then the next question, that having said that, of course, somebody then would like to say, how were these agreements arrived? And very fundamental, Honorable Speaker, because we did public participation, and we need to inform the House then these agreements arrived. And of course, when you're asking about that, Honorable Speaker, you have in mind the Constitution of the Republic of Kenya and the Treaty Making and Ratification Act. It provides, Honorable Speaker, the procedure upon which you can arrive into an agreement that comes to the floor of the House. And therefore, Honorable Speaker, I would like to inform the House as follows, in terms of the road upon which then we arrive to where we are in terms of this agreement being on the floor of the House. Honorable Speaker, I want to begin with the Kenya/South Africa bilateral air service agreement. Honorable Speaker, the bilateral air service agreement between Kenya and South Africa was negotiated and initialed on 15th October 2008. It's some time, Honorable Speaker. Of course, then people will understand the procedure of these negotiations before it arrives at the floor of the House. 2008. I don't know where some of us were. Of course, we were in this country. Honorable Speaker, of course, in Nairobi. It was operationalized by the signing of memorandum of understanding on the same date. And that is why now you can see South Africa Airlines landing in Nairobi. It's because of that agreement, but it is not fully done until when we do what we are asking the House to do today as a committee. The agreement, Honorable Speaker, was subsequently approved by the Cabinet during the 5th Cabinet meeting, as it is required by the Constitution and the Ratification Act, in 2019, held on Thursday, 21st November 2019. Honorable Speaker, the agreement provides for multiple, just emphasizing that Article 2, the agreement provides for multiple designations of airlines, unlimited number of frequencies, no restriction on aircraft capacity, and an open and liberal route schedule, Honorable Speaker. Exercise of the 5th freedom traffic rights is subject to approval by the respective aeronautical institutions, Honorable Speaker. And when we talk about that, of course, Honorable Speaker, we are talking about in Kenya, Kenya Civil Aviation Authority. Those are the people to give those rights. And that is the process, Honorable Speaker, upon which the Kenya-South Africa bilateral air service agreement was arrived to or reached to. Allow me then, Honorable Speaker, to quickly go to the Kenyan one and Botswana. Honorable Speaker, this one, this agreement between Kenya and Botswana was reviewed and signed on 23rd July 2019 in Nairobi during the state visit to Kenya by the President of the Republic of Botswana on the 22nd and 24th July 2019. Honorable Speaker, the agreement was subsequently approved by the Cabinet during the 5th Cabinet meeting in 2019, held on Thursday, 21st November 2019. And Honorable Speaker, the agreement provides for multiple, as it is emphasized by Article 2 of the agreement, multiple designations or designations of airlines, unlimited number of frequencies. Of course, Honorable Speaker, maybe people might not understand the meaning of frequency. It's not the airway frequency, Honorable Speaker. It's landing, so that people can be able to understand what we mean by that. And that is a jargon within the transport sector, Honorable Speaker, but it's landing, so that people don't think that we are doing airwaves in this one, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, unlimited number of frequencies, no restrictions on aircraft capacity, and an open and liberal route schedule, Honorable Speaker. Exercise of the 5th freedom traffic rights is subject to approval, as I said earlier, by the respective aeronautical authorities, like for example, for our case, Honorable Speaker, the Kenya Civil Aviation Authority. Honorable Speaker, having said that, then now it is very clear what the agreement is asking for. It's very clear, Honorable Speaker, how it arrived here. It went through all that, and therefore then allows me, Honorable Speaker, then to say that this agreement reaching on the floor of the House, and we're asking you to ratify and agree with the report, then, Honorable Speaker, followed the requirement of Article 118 of the Constitution, which, of course, Honorable Speaker, details on whether there was public participation, Honorable Speaker. Yes, we did public participation, and that's why we arrived to that, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, in terms of law, did it satisfy the requirement of Treaty Making and Ratification Act, particularly subsection 8? Yes, Honorable Speaker. And what demonstrates that, Honorable Speaker, in accordance with that law, is that it's accompanied by memorandum from the cabinet, which, Honorable Speaker, then is also attached in this report. Honorable Speaker, that is exactly what we are asking, and more other details, Honorable Speaker, in this report. Why are we doing this, Honorable Speaker? Why are we asking? Why are we then, as a committee, even during or through public participation, why are we asking the House then to do for us? Honorable Speaker, this is completely, these two, both agreements, Honorable Speaker, are completely within the interest of our Republic of Kenya. Why, Honorable Speaker? Because, Honorable Speaker, the House might recall that in 2017 and 2018, Honorable Speaker, my committee brought a report in this House that, Honorable Speaker, we proposed to restructure how we do aviation in this country, Honorable Speaker. Of course, from the executive. Why, Honorable Speaker? Because we wanted to make, and we still, as a country, want to make Nairobi, and particularly Jomo Kenyatta, Honorable Speaker, a hub in this Africa. What do you mean by a hub? A hub, Honorable Speaker, means it's a connecting point. Meaning what? Meaning that somebody wants to go to China, for example, or America. You can then come from Botswana, now that if the House agrees with us, then therefore that means that our Kenya Airways and other registered airlines in this country can then go to Botswana, bring people to Nairobi, Honorable Speaker, populate, let's say, our Dreamliner, and then take them to Bangkok, right? Or bring them to Nairobi, take them to maybe West Africa, or Nigeria, or Lagos, or Cameroon, Honorable Speaker. Or bring them to Nairobi and take them to America. That way, Honorable Speaker, we are making our country, and particularly Nairobi, we are making a hub. When you're making a hub, Honorable Speaker, when people land to a country, of course, they come and eat in our country. Maybe they come and move around our wildlife, Honorable Speaker, and then our country will be making money through that kind of process, Honorable Speaker. And therefore, these two agreements, seeking both airlines, the three tripartite countries now here, Botswana, South Africa, and Kenya, makes it very critical, Honorable Speaker, that we ask the House to agree with us, because that is, of course, growing economy and creating jobs for our children and our people, Honorable Speaker, when we do that here in Nairobi. That of course, we grow Nairobi. Honorable Speaker, for the benefit of the House, if you go to Jomo Kenyatta now, there's a lot of remodeling, Honorable Speaker, if you go to Jomo Kenyatta now, so that we can be able to handle passengers and visitors and people who are transiting through Jomo Kenyatta in the best interest, Honorable Speaker, like any other modern airport in the world, Honorable Speaker, that you might imagine. You can imagine Dubai. You will see Dubai very soon in Nairobi, Honorable Speaker. Therefore, this ratification of this agreement, that's why you might see that maybe this week and last week, Honorable Speaker, as a committee, we have been asking a lot of ratification. In fact, the next to this one will be the one between Kenya and Russia, Honorable Speaker, because we want to make our country grow, Honorable Speaker. And when you grow the country, of course, you grow the economy, and you grow the basket, Honorable Speaker, or the pie. And therefore, we're asking the House, Honorable Speaker, to agree with us quickly so that then we can have this flight. And this is good thing for a country, Honorable Speaker, particularly now. There's been this fear that maybe Kenya Airways, being the preferred Kenya airline, will get a lot of advantages. No, if you look at this agreement, the agreement is saying it's not only the designated is the one that carry the flag of the country. It's not only that, those people also who are registered airlines in this country can enjoy the same advantages, Honorable Speaker. What a great opening in terms of business in this country, Honorable Speaker. Should the House agree with this proposal from my committee, Honorable Speaker? Number two, the reason why we are very convinced that it's for interest of the Republic of Kenya. There is a negotiation, Honorable Speaker, now. I would like to inform the House and the country that there's a negotiation now between ourselves through Kenya Airways with South African Airlines, Honorable Speaker, to combine efforts in building what we might call Trans-Africa Airline, Honorable Speaker. Meaning what? Meaning if you book South African Airline, right, and you're going to America, if South African Airline cannot take you to America, it can take you through Kenya Airways. But you have already booked it in South Africa. What an amazing opening, Honorable Speaker, within the industry. And that's why, Honorable Speaker, we're asking the House to agree with us. This is really purely 100% for the interest of our Republic of Kenya. And as I do that, Honorable Speaker, as I move and as I conclude, I would like then to ask the House to agree with us and approve this report. And I ask my colleague, Honorable Shadrach Mose, Honorable Speaker, to second me with your permission, Honorable Speaker. I thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I stand to second this bilateral air service agreement between South Africa, Botswana, and our country. Honorable Speaker, you will note that we are having, territorial boundaries in the whole world opening up for various reasons. But for ours, Honorable Speaker, one of the prime effects of this agreement, Honorable Speaker, is firstly to enhance our friendship between Kenya and South Africa and Botswana. And also, Honorable Speaker, to also increase our understanding and the cooperation between these member states. And that at the end of the day, we as a country, Kenya as a country, would stand to benefit, and this would be to the best interest of this country. Honorable Speaker, these agreements, and I would urge this honorable court, this honorable House to move with speed to actually approve them, will firstly enhance the Kenyan businesses. They will be able to access businesses here, businesses in South Africa, businesses in Botswana, to new markets. So these agreements, Honorable Speaker, are going to help us a great deal. Secondly, Honorable Speaker, there is no doubt that with an increased frequency, with an increased market, we would be able to have job opportunities, creation of job opportunities to our very many young men and women who are out there languishing, who have actually finished the universities and tertiary colleges in their large numbers, in their troops, but they have no jobs to do. So the signing of this agreement, and with an enhanced new market, will definitely create job opportunities to our country. Honorable Speaker, I would also want to say that there would be also flow of goods across the three countries. And what that will portend to us is that we even have goods that will go in at cheaper prices. Honorable Speaker, the other thing that would actually come into play is that the air travel will be affordable. It will not be that restricted, as we already have opened up very many air travel avenues to South Africa, to Botswana, without necessarily restricting the air travel. Honorable Speaker, there will also be what we call exponential growth of the air travel, and that would also assist us a lot. Honorable Speaker, with also those new avenues opened, we would also increase competition in the market, both locally in South Africa, in Botswana, and in other areas where these airlines will be connecting to. Honorable Speaker, we also have what we call route connectivity. You realize that for a number of times, there was a lot of restrictions on the number of routes that you could travel. But with these air service agreements coming into force, Honorable Speaker, then it opens the routes that one can also travel to. Honorable Speaker, that will also really lead to what we call improved quality of life. Because the moment you have more businesses, you have more access and travel, then it means that income is bound to increase. Honorable Speaker, we also have opened up to new opportunities in the academic field, which means our students will be able to move here to South Africa, to Botswana more easily. We would also, Honorable Speaker, have enhanced tourism. Kenya is a good tourist destination, and I am sure we'll have an influx of tourists from those countries. Honorable Speaker, therefore, this agreement also resonated with our Constitution, and they satisfy the requirements of the Treaty Making and the Ratification Act. With that, Honorable Speaker, I beg to second.
Honorable members, I propose the question that this House adopts the report of the Departmental Committee on Transport, Public Works, and Housing on the ratification of the bilateral air services agreements between the Republic of Kenya and the Republic of South Africa, and between the Republic of Kenya and the Republic of Botswana, laid on the table of the House on Tuesday, September 28, 2021, and pursuant to the provisions of Section 8.4 of the Treaty Making and Ratification Act 2012, approves the ratification of 1, the bilateral air services agreement between the Republic of Kenya and the Republic of South Africa, and 2, the bilateral air services agreement between the Republic of Kenya and the Republic of Botswana. The Honorable Sangok.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, and I rise to support this very important report, Honorable Speaker, that will enhance our business opportunity within our African continent, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, Honorable Kosing, who is the chairman of the Transport and Infrastructure Committee of this House, Honorable Speaker, have been the most active chair in this House, who never misses proceeding of this House. Most of his questions that are directed to his committee are promptly answered, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, Honorable Kosing, apart from being the international petitioner who actually petitioned ICC, Honorable Speaker, he have a lot in his legacy. And I think this one will only add to the caps that he have, because under the watch of Honorable Kosing and the committee, Honorable Speaker, we have seen improvement in terms of infrastructure. If I may just mention a few, increase in new tarmac road, Honorable Speaker. There is also the SGR meter gauge railway, Honorable Speaker, the Nairobi Expressway that will ease transportation to the Jomo Kenyatta International Airport. There have also been refurbishment of the Lamu Port, Manda Airport in Lamu also, which will be an international airport, Kisumu Port, Honorable Speaker, and many others, even including the Homa Bay Airport, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, when we open our airspace, we have opened job opportunities, Honorable Speaker, because those airlines from South Africa, and it's not only the South African airline, any airline that is registered in South Africa, any airline that is registered in Botswana will be landing in Kenya, Honorable Speaker. I am quite sure that they will need the ground engineers, they will need the ground crew, Honorable Speaker. They will also need the air hostess, Honorable Speaker, and they may prefer Kenya because they will be having languages in their aeroplanes, including Kiswahili, Honorable Speaker, now that they are landing officially in our country, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, they will hire our Kenyan youth, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, we will also get a market to our produce, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, we are one of the highest producers of flowers, Honorable Speaker. These, Honorable Speaker, are perishable goods that need air transport, not any other form of transport, Honorable Speaker. We will be able to export our flowers from Naivasha all the way to South Africa and across the world, Honorable Speaker, because it will be easy to transport, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, if you see our airports, including the Jomo Kenyatta Airport, Honorable Speaker, the land is so massive, but we have not been able to utilize because our traffic in terms of air traffic, Honorable Speaker, is still low, Honorable Speaker. Increasing the number of aeroplanes that will be landing will make will make us improve and utilize that land to be able to have control and enough space for runways, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, at the moment, Kenya is using instrumental landing, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, instrumental landing also is limiting in terms of how many aircrafts can land, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, there is another form that is not in Kenya and is not anywhere in Africa of landing, Honorable Speaker. I don't remember the name, but it is a landing that will allow aeroplanes to land even blindly, in blind landing, Honorable Speaker, in bad weather, Honorable Speaker. So we will be able to improve now that our traffic will increase, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, our airlines, because there are so many other airlines registered in Kenya, owned by Kenyans, Honorable Speaker. Safari Link, Honorable Speaker. Fly 540, Honorable Speaker, and others that have been able to make business within our borders. Now, when we open so that they can fly to Botswana, they can fly to South Africa, those are business opportunities for our people, our Kenyans who have ventured into air transport, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, we will also improve a lot of airports within our country because we will be having traffic that want to land in Kisumu, want to land in Narok. Honorable Speaker, that for me, I do support this.
The Honorable Kevin Wanyonyi, member for Kwanza.
On the onset, I want to take this opportunity to say I support this very noble idea. First and foremost, Mr. Speaker, I want to tell you, after working for international companies, Kodak being one of them, I was a regional manager for the region. In fact, I had 12 countries in the region, Botswana being one of them. South Africa, of course, Lesotho. We had also Seychelles, Mauritius, and I can tell you, at that time we had a lot of problems connecting to these countries, and that time, ask me, I was a regional manager for Kodak, I was a regional manager for sales and marketing manager for then Kodak East Africa, and I was in charge of this region. And it was very difficult to connect. For example, when you want to go to South Africa, you have to go all the way to Addis Ababa to fly down. But now I think with this agreement, which has been well presented by the chair, I want to say that it's long overdue. One, a lot of advantages. Botswana, I've been to Botswana many times. It's a huge country, it's bigger than Kenya, and it's a lot of resources there in Botswana. If you know geography, there are a lot of minerals there. And I can tell you there are Kenyans working in Botswana. And all they have to do is to come to Nairobi, they have to go to Joburg, to Johannesburg to come to Nairobi. And I've been with a committee, I think, of agriculture. We've been in South Africa. I have to go to the west of South Africa. Again, there's been a lot of complication. So with this free movement, I can tell you we are opening up our country. And as the chairman put it, there's going to be a Pan-African airline. Therefore, we got a lot of opportunities. And therefore, some of our products will be sold directly to Botswana. Botswana, I think what they do dairy farming. That's what they do. So I'm sure they'll be able to, like now we are importing milk from Uganda. We talked about this today. We're going to be getting some of the powdered milk to Kenya, and they can be able to add up to what we have to export the same milk products to the Middle East. So this is a very good idea, and I want us to support this, this bill and move very fast. And the other thing is that, as mentioned by 001, is we are going to, now it means that the airline from South Africa or Botswana can fly anywhere. They can go to Eldoret, they can go to Kisumu, they can go to Mombasa, And therefore, we'll be promoting tourism, local tourism, African tourism in the region. And I can tell you, those who have not been with us that part of the world, I've been there many times as a manager of Kodak then. Botswana is a very lovely country to go to. Again, we'll be having our people going to South Africa, to Botswana, and they are not as highly educated. Sorry to mention, don't quote me anywhere, we are more educated than they are, and therefore, again, the population in Botswana is not as high as it is here. Then again, we are going to have our opportunities open, jobs opportunities. And so this is something that we have to support, and as somebody mentioned, let's move fast to be able to pass this, build this motion, and be able to open up these connections and be able to move. And our country is definitely going to benefit from the same. I support.
Honorable Wanyonyi, I want to agree with you that Botswana is one of the most beautiful places that you'll visit in this continent called Africa.
Yeah, thank you so much.
I, for one, will be one of those people who will definitely be visiting that country. Some of the best meat I've ever tasted on the continent of Africa, I had it in Botswana. Yes. We shall now have the Honorable Maanzo Kitonga. The Honorable 001, I will also come to your farm so that I can have a comparative assessment of the two. And then maybe we can infuse the Botswanian experience and the 001 experience, and Africa must be number one. Yes. The Honorable Maanzo, proceed.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. First, I really want to thank the Chair, Honorable Kosim, for a job well done, assisted by Honorable Mose, who is an advocate, because this matter involves a little bit of law, and the committee has done it very well. And you ask you what we are doing 2008. You know, 2008, just like the member for Kwanza, Kosim was also a CEO of a very important parastatal in this country, and no wonder he's able to handle matters very well on this floor of the House. I want to say that post-COVID, this is a very big move to revive the economies of the countries involved. I am personally very close to South Africa for other personal reasons, and South Africa is a very big economy, and when you combine that economy with the Kenyan economy, and also it's a very large country with very many land sports. Ordinarily, if you fly to South Africa by